everybody, welcome back to another exciting unboxing of Horror Pack. Woo! Yes, that's right. Again, I have the May Horror Pack, and guess what? I got this box today. I'm opening it today. I hope to start watching the movies tonight so I can stay on the ball with actually getting these things done because I've been enjoying them and I'm in the mood. So I should tell you about Horror Pack, and I should also let you know that they do send this to me for free. I'm not paid, I'm not sponsored, I give you my honest opinions. We are gonna watch the movies and give you the reviews whether I've seen them or not, and then it's like, hell, I'll give you a review if I've seen it a second time or a third time. And I try to rope Mary into doing one of those. And if you want, I can get you a discount if you've never used Horror Pack. So first I should tell you that Horror Pack gives you the option of Blu Rays or DVDs. It's about $25 a month. And they usually send you at least 4 movies, and at least one of those is going to be an exclusive that is only available in Horror Pack as of the time of them releasing this particular box. So if you're a physical collector, it's a great thing to have. Also, if you don't know and you haven't been around long enough, you don't understand that I have like 8,000 titles physically. So it is pretty rare they give me a bunch of stuff I don't have, but they've gotten a lot better about that lately. So found some really cool gems in there. And if you want to get $3 off your first Horror Pack subscription, sorry, I'm trying to open this thing. For some reason the tape is weird today. You can use my code, which is BloodyButts. Oh yeah, BLOODYBUTTS. All one word, all caps. To get you $3 off your first subscription, and you can have a good time with the code BloodyButts. So, without further ado, we're gonna pop it open. Comes like this in a bag, and you may know I always kind of peek a little bit to the spines so that I can see the number and make sure I open the exclusive one last. And I'm on the wrong side, even though I felt. And okay, so we're gonna go that way. All right. And away we go. First movie up, we get, all right. I feel like they sent this to me recently. I really do. That's fine. I'm good for watching this one again. I think I liked this one. Was this the second one? We got Annabelle Creation. I think they have now officially sent us all the Annabelles, I believe. I might be wrong about that. All right. Dark, disturbing, and terrifying, says Bloody Disgusting. You've seen her destroy lives. Now, the fear makers behind The Conjuring dare you to experience the terrifying story of how she was created. Oh, I remember this one. This one's a good one. Several years after the tragic death of their young daughter, a doll maker and his wife welcome a nun and 6 girls from a shut-down orphanage into their home. What seems like the answer to their prayers becomes a curse, a death curse, and their new guests become targets of the possessed creation, Annabelle. We got some special features here. We got the Conjuring Universe thing. Okay, we got horror shorts. Oh. Attack, Panic, and Cough are 2 short films that inspired Annabelle Creation. I need to watch those. If I remember, I will watch those and also review those for you. Can't promise I remember to do that. Deleted scenes, featurette, director's commentary, 110 minutes, rated R. Oh, cool. Thought it was PG-13 for some reason, but hey, sweet. All right, I'll give that one a go again. That's a good time. And next we have, I do not know this one. I do not have this one. Emily, the Babysitter is Here. I don't know this company or anything, but it looks legit. So that's the front cover. There's the back cover. And we have Genuinely Unsettling, tapping into any parent's worst nightmare, says The Hollywood Reporter. Pure old-fashioned suspense, says Shock Till You Drop. Sarah Bolger is the perfect evil babysitter, IGN. Chilling fun, Dread Central. As their parents head out for a date in the city, the 3 young Thompson children immediately take to their new babysitter, Anna, Sarah Bolger of Into the Badlands, Once Upon a Time. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. It might be Bolger. Who seems like a dream come true. She's sweet, fun, and lets them do things that break all of their parents' rules. But as Anna's interactions with them take on a more sinister tone, the kids realize that their caretaker may not be who she claims to be, and soon it's up to Big Brother Jacob to protect his siblings from the increasingly nefarious intentions of a very disturbed woman. Featuring a tour de force performance from Bolger and his 3 young leads, Emily is a multi-dimensional, nail-biting thriller that proves trust can be the most deadly of weapons. Special features include a making of and a trailer. I'm looking for a runtime. We got not rated. Runtime short, 82 minutes. 2015. This might be the one I go for tonight, possibly. Good time. All right. Hey, I'm always happy when you get one I've never heard of. So, all right, one more before we do the big reveal of the exclusive. we get The Turning. Oh, yeah. I think we do have this, and I wanted to see this, and I never got around to it, because this looked pretty cool. So we definitely have a theme here. We have like a children's theme, a children-parent theme going on in this box, it appears, with a twisted alternate ending. All right. The Turning stars Finn Wolfhard from TV Stranger Things. You know they make Stranger Things Ninja Turtles action figure mashup box? It's really weird. And Mackenzie Davis of TV's Black Mirror. She's done something else since then. What else do I know her from? I don't know. In a thrilling adaptation of Henry James' landmark novel, at a mysterious estate in the Maine countryside, a newly appointed nanny is charged with the care of 2 disturbed orphans. She quickly discovers that both the children and the house are harboring dark secrets, and things may not be as they appear. Bonus features, alternate ending, deleted scenes, and Behind the Turning. Movies anywhere, digital code included. Sweet. Real quick before we move on, I am very curious. Yeah, I've always wanted to see that. I want to see if my dad watched it and if he gave it a rating. So I'm going to check my My Movies app, which I love and used to recommend to everybody, but they've gone to a subscription model, and they've gone from you can buy the new one for $5 every year to you can only get it via subscription, which is $50 a year, and I am baffled. Like, I can't figure out what the hell extra they're giving you for $50 a year. Maybe it was like a one-time $50 subscription? Maybe. I gotta look into that. If you know anything about the My Movies Pro app and that, let me know. Anyways, The Turning. Okay, we definitely have it. He gave it 3 stars out of 5. For him, that is not bad. So that means we probably have a digital code. Hopefully don't have to open this. These will also go to the Mutant Fam at our Mutant Meetup in August. Whatever I don't want to keep. All right, so last but not least, the big reveal. Will the art be cool? Will it be an indie, or will it be awesome indie, or what? Will it be a movie that I know half the people in like it had been being? What's the exclusive this month? We get Prosper Horror Pack Limited Edition Blu Ray, number 83. All right, I'm doing that at the art, y'all. Come on, y'all. I don't know. That lady looks fairly familiar. Anyways, front's not too bad. You got the 82 on the side there, if you can see it. And, you know. All right, An Ancient Darkness. An Ancient Darkness. The rumored daughters of Sarah Good, the first witch to be tried and hung during the Salem witch trials, lives and commands the spirit world at her fingertips. Irene, as she is known, must sacrifice the lives of a small group of youths every 30 years for preserving her own youthful appearance, powers, and prosperity. On this day, Irene sets the bait for Dalton, an unassuming young man looking for closure in his brother's accidental death. She promises Dalton the allure of reconnecting with his deceased siblings while suggesting he bring his friends along for the show. Sam, Dalton's closest friend, ignores the warning signs, tags along for the ride, and finds herself the only person left alive after a night of gruesome events. Did that just spoil the movie right there? I was trying to do the Star Wars Clone Wars thing. The Last Witch of Salem feasts tonight. 90 minutes stereo, 2014. No features. Midnight releasing, Solaris something. Like Presents, maybe? Alright, okay. Sure. So anyways, those are the full movies. Now, I must watch. And what am I going to get Mary to watch in here? Well, I guess The Turning, because it's PG-13, so. Alright, here we go. Let's watch. Alright, so first up, Annabelle Creation. Ooh la la. So, of course, I already have this. I've already seen it. This is maybe my 3rd time viewing this one. I believe it is the 2nd of the Annabelle series, of course, spinoff of The Conjuring, where we first saw her. And you know what? This one's really good. There's a couple of issues here or there, but, and I don't really remember all of the first one that much. I remember the 3rd one fairly well. I do think this might be my favorite of them. Again, not 100% how I feel on that, but it's well-paced. I like the connection by the end to the first film. I like the idea of it kind of being this sort of orphanage out on a farm in the, like the Depression era, I suppose. I think all that stuff works really, really well for it. And probably one of the best things about this is how well cast all the children actors are. They're all very excellent in this, especially our two leads that really, really matter. And, you know, the Annabelle stuff is very creepy. Some of the stuff in that room, like the actual room, is insane. And then, like, the whole thing with, like, the dollhouse lighting up and things catching fire and the music playing, all that stuff's really, really fun, too. Plus, you get some really creepy moments from the demon, visualizations of the demon itself. Like, I'm kind of keeping it somewhat vague for spoilers, but I figure if you're into these movies, you've probably seen them by now, or at least I'm not going to say anything that's going to ruin anything. It is a bit of a shock, or not a shock in the beginning, I guess, because I knew it from the trailers or having seen it before, but there's a little bit of a setup story, and even that does draw you in, because you see something coming, and you're like, and then, it's like, ugh. And it's really sad and tragic. I think the parents of the first kid, pretty interesting in this as well. I like the, what's that called? The dumbwaiter? Yeah, like the dumbwaiter, the little food elevator thing in the wall. I like the sequences they did with that. They did some pretty neat things there. There's sort of an again, kind of mild spoiler, but super vague. There's sort of a transformation from behind Annabelle at one point that is really cool looking and really creepy. But man, probably my creepiest moment in this whole thing is a moment of sound design, which these movies, they got to be sound designer dreams, because they're clearly showcases for great sound design. But there's one with like a dark hallway, a little bit of light in the room, and you hear some steps come, and then there's a pause, and then you hear steps run towards the door and get louder. Like, that stuff freaks me out. That really works. It's super effective. And then she's looking over and sees footprints and all that. It's like, oh! So again, even knowing this movie and having seen it before many times, or a couple of times, it's still, the moments that work are very effective. Especially, I do feel like it's a movie too, though, because it wasn't as effective as it has been, but also I wasn't as in the mood for something like that as normal. So I do think it's a movie that is affected by what mood you're in. Because I did find a few more nitpicks this time around that probably normally wouldn't bother me if I was more like just really into it. And I don't specifically remember what they are. I guess it's like things like when she's in the wheelchair and you see somebody pushing her, like little things like that. I feel like broad daylight, it's not quite working for me. I wish they had done more than they did with the Scarecrow moment. That was pretty cool, but could have been cooler. There's a fall over like a few stories, and I was like, if this was Halloween Ends, that kid would be very dead, and we'd have a new Michael Myers, but it's not, and a little shocked that somebody survived it, because I didn't remember that, and I was like, brutal, okay, not as brutal. The nun's kind of interesting, I like her relationship to things, and obviously I think they do connect something with a photograph to the nun in this, which is nice. And, it's like, 108 minutes, I want to say. So not an overwhelming runtime. Doesn't really drag, per se. I guess maybe some of the quieter moments might slightly, just because they are trying to stretch out that tension and suspense. And, but I mean, most of the time, that's very, very effective. And who made this one? If I can read in this light. Oh, David Sandberg. Okay. Yeah, he's done some good stuff. So, Peter Safran. It's a new DC guy with James Gunn. I think what it was too is there's sort of a moment with fingers and a cross. If you know, you know. And I like it, but I also don't like it, because it sort of feels out of place. It sort of feels like the entity shouldn't be able to do that because of the cross. But I guess they're playing loosey-goosey with their own rules, and maybe it has to do with fear or something. Because I do like that these things want to create fear. It's not really touched upon in this, but they want your fear so they can be more powerful. That's always kind of fun. But yeah, I mean, just a really good ensemble cast, and the leads are excellent, and Annabelle's creepy, especially when you get those like cut away, cut back, and the head's in a different position. That old cliche, but it's just done exceptionally well yet again. So I think this might be my favorite of the Annabelles. The Annabelle series is pretty strong. I remember not caring much for the Nun, and La Llorona is but okay. I like that one more than a lot of people, but I still don't love it. And then, of course, the Conjuring films are my favorites, but we'll see what other spinoffs we get. I think The Crooked Man got canceled. I would have liked to have seen that, but we'll see where they go with it. I think they're doing a TV series right now, I think, and I hope it is still like in the same universe, same cast, like not a reboot. And it's like they could do it like the Friday the 13th, the series, where each time it is them going out and getting a new piece to add to their collection in that room, the Warrens' room. That would be really fun. But yeah, so Annabelle Creation. Enjoyed it. Happy to watch it again. But it does make me worried they're going to send me The Nun soon, and I'm going to have to rewatch that one, which has its moments. That's my thoughts on Annabelle Creation. Watch out for Chili Goblin. And we have Emily. I liked this, but not as much as I had hoped. I do feel they could have gone a lot further with some things than they did. I think the first act is definitely the strongest. Like, it starts off with a hint of a mystery, so there's a bit more mystery to this than I was anticipating, and a lot less horror than I was hoping for, or even just suspense. You know, it's a little light in those departments, but it is, again, very well acted. And having read the back of the box, I wasn't expecting it to be actual kids, and it was actual kids, and they were great. Even the one that's like 4 years old, like, they put in really good performances, particularly the 11-year-old boy and, like, I guess the about 8-year-old girl. And then the babysitter herself really plays some great subtlety into this. The parents are kind of vaguely interesting. Somehow certain mysteries unfold. I do feel there was a thread, and maybe I just spaced for a moment, but I feel like there's a character in this that is a mysterious character, and it never really gets resolved. It never really gets explained, so I don't know what the deal with that guy was. Let's say guy in car. If you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. That doesn't spoil anything here. I guess it kind of does. I'm sorry if that was an actual spoiler. My bad. Not a crazy one. But I do like certain revelations, how certain things start going a little out of control, and then they change the plan slightly, because there is a plan happening. I was hoping it'd be a little bit more about just being a psychotic babysitter. I was hoping it'd get a little more brutal and violent and like almost horror Home Alone, you know, where the kids were setting traps to catch the babysitter. It doesn't really ever get too much into that. Even a lot, and she is really weird, and there are some really awkward, odd, intended awkward, odd interactions with her and the children, and even the husband and the wife a little bit. But obviously you kind of, as it unfolds, you realize some things and some intentions. And I can go with what the story was, what her goal was. But even there, I just feel like maybe there should have still been more, because it seems like her plan was fairly light in terms of she was going to leave a lot of loose ends. There didn't seem to be a tight plan for like wrapping up and getting what she wanted out of all of this. And then also too, I think for the whole figuring out she's like the evil babysitter is the back kind of intends to lead you to. She never really goes that evil. I mean, it's certainly a nefarious thing she's doing, and there's definitely some really awful things involved. But again, I kind of felt like it played a lot of stuff a little too safe, a little too simply, and I would have liked to gone more. So honestly too, so the third act is a little weak for me in that regard as well, because it just, you know, by then I was like, we're just not going there, huh? We're just going to keep it almost not quite a Lifetime movie. It's certainly far more, takes itself more seriously, more, you know, correct for a horror than a Lifetime horror, I guess. I don't know. But it does play a little on the safer end of that, where there's nothing really to that gruesome. Little touch here, there. There is one really gruesome shot of a car wreck victim. That was really cool. But, you know, so you're not really getting a lot of gore. You're not really getting a lot of violence. You're not really getting a lot of suspense. But it's not dull. It's not totally flat. Like, it is interesting, and it's only 82 minutes, so it was an easy watch. But I do wish it had at least one of those things. More suspense, more let me actually, because I never really felt worried for anybody, if that makes sense. You know, because there's like 3 vulnerable children, and I should feel like something bad's going to happen to them. Never felt that. I should feel like something bad's going to happen to the parents, other than one brief moment. Never really felt that. And then I never felt like anything bad was going to happen to the bad girl, you know, the babysitter. So that was a little disappointing. So nothing gruesome, nothing overtly violent, except one awesome shot, and, you know, no real suspense. So it sounds like I'm crapping on it. I'm not, because I did enjoy it. I could watch it again. I would say, like, if I was back in the day watching 5 movies a day, it would be likely I'd watch it again someday, because I'd be like, I don't remember what that's about. I should check it out again. But I can't say it's a high priority to rewatch with so much other great stuff that's worth rewatching a lot more. But I gotta check it out. It's a movie I've never heard of. I got a movie I don't own, and see something different, and it's cool. I just, like I said, I wish they'd gone a lot further in a lot of ways. So that's my thoughts on Emily. Mary and I just watched The Turning. I didn't mean to do it, but I thought it was funny. So we watched The Turning. Nah, that was a hard pass for me. This didn't work for me at all, man.
Says it's based on the short novella, Turn of the Screw.
Yeah, which we both don't know, but like we'd heard of, like it rang bells. Mary did look into it after, so we could kind of see the similarities, which are sort of there, but they definitely took the movie differently in places.
It just don't.
Well, I mean,
it's not scary. I mean, the acting's good. But
I was gonna say the kids are really good.
Yeah, the plot is like
half cooked, undercooked.
There's basically, if you are familiar with the Turn of the Screw, there's theoretically two different interpretations of.
It's one of those movies. Yeah, we can kind of leave it there because we don't want to give spoilers. So, but that's a good way of bringing it up. I know how you are. I'm afraid you were going to go a little too deep in there. I'm sorry. You were going to say more, weren't you?
Maybe.
Yeah. But no, it is one of those movies that's kind of left up, to your own thoughts. And I had a thought, and I definitely dozed a little in the beginning. Mary filled me in. Apparently, I didn't miss all that much. But she didn't have much of a reaction until after I asked. So I was like, well, maybe she saw something I didn't. But no, we basically had the same possible interpretation. And it ends, and you're kind of like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do here? Like, honestly, I thought it was going to be pretty straight up, and that was going to annoy me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it twisted, and I was like, well, okay, well, now I'm intrigued. And then there's barely anything left from there. So it's like, oh. So it was that? So you went from one cliche that sucks, we've seen too much, to another cliche that sucks and we've seen too much? Okay.
Yeah, we actually had to pause halfway through, and the ant.
Oh, because the ant. Yeah, there was... it's that time of year where we got to look out for scouts coming in.
Yeah, actually, I had an ant crawling on my hand, and I was like... my first reaction was to fling it off, and then I was like, oh, fuck, where did I just fling it to?
Luckily, it did not go on my wine. But anyways, we paused.
And then I was like, oh, we're halfway through. And
Yeah,
because... is that good? Oh, I don't know. Oh.
Yeah, I was like, so wait, is it because we feel like nothing has really happened? No questions have really been asked? It's like, yeah. So yeah, it just, on that level, it was dull. I found the whole affair dull and uninventive, and it just didn't come together for me. I mean, it's well made for what it is. Like, I'm not going to be mad at cinematography or whatever. Like, there's some great locations and production design and stuff, and to the point where even they get a little artsy in the end credits. There's visual stuff going on. It's like, are you telling me more of a story? Or are you just being artsy? I'm not 100% sure.
I feel like they're just being artsy at the end.
Because honestly, the way it started, and because of the ending we had in this movie, I almost thought it's like, wait, is this going to be a thing where they do some weird thing where they actually give you the actual ending after the credits? Like the credits are sort of a trick or something?
Honestly, I feel like they already had to do a certain type of filming, and the director's like,
yeah, just get some extra.
Yeah, since we already got these things set anyways, let's do some lighting here and here. And...
Yeah, that's fair. Another thing that's interesting is in the beginning, they started out in the 90s, which is kind of a cool choice, but honestly, not sure why. You'd think it's because of cell phones or whatnot, but honestly, I'm not even sure that would have really affected anything. So, I'm not, other than just trying to do a music choice, which I'll get to in a second, I don't really see why it would have been set there, unless it's when the story was original story or something.
No, the original story.
That's what I thought.
Late 1800s.
I was thinking it's like classic literature, yeah. But so I don't understand the choice to set it in the 90s. Like even stylistically, clothing, like there's nothing that really says 90s except they have cassette players and they play a lot of grunge, which I will be honest, I grew up in that era. I loved a lot of that stuff. Watching the movie, I thought it was like all generic, like, oh, they couldn't afford anything real from anybody. But then I saw the credits and I was like, no, that's a lot of the real bands of the era, but it's none of the really, really good stuff. Because I thought, there's some bands in there I love, but I never heard a song in here that I was like, oh, that's a good song. Not that, but yeah, just dull, man.
I love the little girl, though.
Yeah, the girl is great, and Finn Wolfhard is great, and being kind of sinister and not sinister and on that cusp at times.
Wolfhard wolfed hard.
Yeah, he wolfed hard. And then, and then what? Mackenzie Davis, who I finally figured out. I said that name was familiar. I know at least from the short-haired blonde good guy Terminator in the last Terminator movie, which we really liked.
Yeah.
So I thought she was cool in that, but this is definitely a different type of role for her. And I thought she was a lot more generic in this one. I mean, she carried it fairly well.
I was amused he pulled a me because I was sitting here going like, why does she look familiar? She looks really familiar, and I was resisting every urge to go ahead and just check IMDb, and then he went and checked, and I was like, yes, thank you.
I know, but I did it because like she was from visuals and I was from the name, so it's like I'm not gonna let that bother me the whole time because it was at the beginning of the movie, so I was like, well, let me do it real quick, let me get it out of the way. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. We saw it now. It's something that could have been a lot better. There's a certain, like I said, there's sort of a kind of a mini twist at the end, and I'm like, if you had done more with that, like it kept twisting to that, and then something else became a bigger deal, and that was closer to the middle of the movie because so much in the setup is not that exciting or even atmospheric or creepy. And really the only scares you get are jump scares. But again, I guess PG-13, you can only be so intense. So yeah, and I'm super positive and cool with movies, and this one just was, it's a pass for me. It's going to get a no from me, dog.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that this has anything to do with Horror Pack, but now we're off to watch Raiders of the Lost Ark. Much better movie, I think. Maybe. Probably. All right.
Yeah.
No, there's more reviews. Yeah. It's almost 4 a.m. I just watched Prosper. And, I find positives in everything, and I have some positives here, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, on the off chance you are part of the cast or crew, one of the filmmakers on this, you might not want to watch this. I'm not going to be awful, but should we do a couple of positives? Yeah, let's do the couple of positives. Okay. I think a lot of the cinematography is really well done. The shots are well composed. They're well lit. They have some nice depth and everything to them. Although I have a slight negative about that, but I don't think it's the cinematography per se so much as a post-production decision. Maybe a production decision that was done poorly. The other positive I'll give you, the actors. For the most part, now you could easily look at this movie and be like, they're terrible and giving terrible performances, but I'm gonna say I think the actors are actually really trying, doing a really good job, and most of them are actually very good. It's just not they aren't giving great material. They aren't directed well, and their performances are not getting any help in the cohesion department from editing. But I don't think that's their fault, per se. That's really the only good I've got to say. If you don't like when I get negative about things, because it is pretty rare, you might want to move on. I hope I don't tear into this too much, but this did not work for me. Maybe it works for people out there. Awesome, cool. Again, I always want to give that preference, that thing about the fact a movie gets finished is incredible. Way less common than people think. And that it gets distributed, even more less common. So kudos for that. Though this is the first time I'm fully 100% going to be like, ooh, Horror Pack. Yeah, because you've kind of gotten into distribution for a lot of these films. You're the reason a lot of these films come or get a release. I don't know about this one. And a lot of my problems come from, like, the simplest way to put it, if you only would hear the general concept of what I don't like about this movie. I love the Blair Witch. I love Blair Witch, the more recent one. The video game is incredible. And Blair Witch 2, I don't hate, but I don't love. I would love to see the director's cut, the original intention. I understand, I've heard the stories and the meddling, so I'm talking about that theatrical cut. This feels like a movie that wants to be a version of that, but took all the things that are generally disliked of Blair Witch 2 and made a movie based around those disliked elements and styles. It's incredibly disjointed. It's incredibly cliche. It's incredibly dated. Like, if this came from like 2004, okay, cool. But I'm pretty sure this is way more recent. You know what? Okay, so I broke a rule. I kind of equated something to religion. I just want to take it back and say it reminds me of more of at times. You could say this is a satanic panic propaganda film because it's like, nope, not even once, no seance, not even once, one time, and you're all dead. It has that vibe to it at times, which I found really uncool. Very stereotypical in the characters, weird transitions, like, and I don't even just mean that, like, it's all kinds of awful transitions. Like at one point, because they want to see a train coming down for production value, I assume, they have possibly the world's longest car drives down the road, pulls into a parking lot and parks, like transition shot, which annoyed the crap out of me. You set up the main characters and then you leave the main characters for 20 or 30 minutes and like don't do anything with the main characters to where it's like, are we ever going back to that? Were they the main characters? The audio sometimes is really bad. I mean, production audio for the most part's fine, except for a few spots, but sound design is incredibly lacking. There's a ringtone that sounds like a door ajar chime. There's like somebody that knocks on a door. You don't hear anything from the knock, but you loudly hear them open the door, like the turning of the knob. Weirdness all over the place in there. There's an odd color correction choice throughout. Well, mostly in the beginning, like, because it's one of those movies that has the, oh, here's how everything ends, but now it's a mystery. Let's go back and, so much earlier. And they do the future stuff like in almost black and white. That's not a black and white, and it's annoying. With cops that aren't interrogating or doing anything even remotely like would actually go, how it would go down, which is odd and strange. And this was, for me, in my opinion, this was not good. I feel bad saying it, but this was bad. I mean, like I said, I love filmmaking and cinema of any bit. You spend a penny, shoot it on your phone. It can be great, and I could love it. So, like, I'm in. So it pains me when I have to say something is bad. This was bad. Because it's very forgettable and middle of the road, and there's all kinds of attempts at style and stylistic choices that are just always underused. Like, if you're going to go with a style like that, go with it. Don't just use it twice and then, randomly. And I'm not saying that happened once. I'm saying there's 3 or 4 different little touches of, like, various styles that they use twice and then never, randomly and never do it. It's like, what? Even the ending is really weird. And, like, what was the point? I mean, this might be kind of spoilery. I'm going to keep it super vague. But maybe, because I don't think, okay. You may not want to hear this, but I'm just going to say it. It kind of has this ending of, I want my story to be told. And that's as general as I can keep it. And it's not even like the overall, but that's part of it. That's like kind of the message, if you will. And I'm thinking, the fuck was the story? Why? It's got like witchcraft, like a seance and like witchcraft. And it's like, well, you didn't talk about persecution. Everybody was nice to you. There's a whole thing with like kids that are, trying to, within their religion, trying to be nice and do a thing, but then obviously they're selfish and blah blah. And like even they, like, what was the point of all that? I really disliked this movie. I'm sorry, but I get to dislike things. I can't like everything. So again, I'm sorry if you are cast or crew or anything. Like, kudos, you did it, man. You got it done. And not everything is for everybody. Trust me, I've been there. But this wasn't for me. Prosper. All right, I'm gonna go finish editing this horror pack video, so be ready for Friday. So that was fun. Hopefully we enjoyed these. Looking forward to this. I know nothing about this. I got a feeling this one might actually be pretty decent. Again, I'm filming this part before I've actually seen them. I know this is good. If I watch anything tonight, it might be Emily. Or it could be this. We could get that one over with. But I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. And I mean, this is a fun watch. So I'm gonna predict this is my favorite one in here. You already know. I don't know. Let me know. Tell me in the comments. Do you want to check this out? Any of these movies you dig? What do you think of these 4 movies? And of course, you're going to get Horror Pack. Get that code, Bloody Butts. Get that $3. You could get like a couple of tacos for that, man. Sure. I don't know. And of course, all that and more. Comment below. Love to hear what you have to say. Got to throw a little shout out to John Brennan. Love that dude. And click the thumbs up button. Give me the good old thumb of encouragement, as I do love to be encouraged. Remember that we will get through this. We will get through this together. Check out my music. Anywhere you listen to music, look up Eric Butts, especially on Spotify. It really helps there. Or go to ericbutts.com. Keep up with my food creations. I'm doing some really fun, interesting things. So just, pay attention. Pay attention, why don't you? What am I doing? I'm sober as hell, too. All right, is that everything I say? That's everything I say. You can also get more content and more ways to support the channel with the links in the description below. Just click that see more button to see more butts. Now I'm gonna get out of here. Stay spooky, and I'll see you all later. Back to the gravy go.